Hey, welcome to the channel. I thought I'd make my first how-to video, something that was really difficult for me to learn at first. It's replacing the ball joints in a 1971 Volkswagen bay window bus. Taking off the entire wheel assembly, I've got all the brake lines disconnected, there was no fluid in them. Taking off the steering control arm, taking out the discs, brakes, the calipers, got the bearings, the hubs, the hardware, got the drop spindles that I've installed. Trying to tighten up everything, and so making sure that we get rid of these completely worn out ball joints is the next step. Upper control arm here, they've got an eccentric bolt. This is basically what aligns your steering. They're on both sides of the arm, so you'll need to either replace or order new ones. Just for the top, the bottom one does not. There are a lot of people who can press these out while they're still in the vehicle. Usually that requires a special tool or an adapter for your press tool. Tools you'll need is a 19mm socket, a little scraper I needed to get some of the gunk out of here, 8mm Allen wrench, and here's your 8mm Allen adjustment. You're gonna take both of those off. The bottom one is relatively easy to slide out. It can basically just come with after you loosen up the bolt holding it into place. The other one is always under tension, and so it's got this little rubber stop right here. You can pull the clips out, and these are replaceable parts, but inside here is so rusty that I would probably damage that bolt if I tried to replace it, trying to pull it out. So there's two options. The other option is to some kind of either crowbar or breaker bar, push up while using leverage to raise up this torsion arm, and then basically gonna hit it with a hammer to get it. Clean all the gunk out, put some brake cleaner in here, make sure I don't strip out my 8mm Allen. The top one, the lower, the 8mm. The top one came off on its own. This one's gonna need some help. That's the only thing holding in this one, so it just pulls right out. That's what she looks like. Good amount of grease on there still. A little bushing right here, and the ball joint. I'll try to put some leverage on here. If you'll notice, the torsion arm, or the control arm, comes off of its rubber stop. It'd probably be a good idea to replace both of these two. Pretty much anything rubber on here is pretty much toast. And you're gonna come from behind and start tapping it. The more leverage you put on it, the easier it gets. Takes a little while because you're kind of just doing gentle taps. You don't obviously want to damage anything, but it's gonna take a little bit of force to get out. If you can see, it's starting to come a little bit. And then all the way until it clears this rubber stop, and it'll swing gently kind of down this way. There we go. Just like that. It's free. Slides back out. Same. Got grease. Got a rubber bushing in there too. This is all clean. Now from this step, we're gonna remove the rubber, the spring, clean everything out, and then we're gonna start cutting. Tear away the rubber boot and the hardware holding it on, cleaning up the grease a little bit, getting the clip off. Spun it, run around about 3 times. You can see it's completely rusted out. There you go, it's got the clip, and the rest of this boot off, and clean the grease up. This is going on the new one. I'm just gonna gut it and shred it, the whole thing all the way off. So this last little piece of rubber, we'll clean off some of the grease. I'm gonna zoom up into what it's looking like. All right, so this metal collar, that's what's separating the top of the ball joint from the bottom. It slides in here. And the adapter for the press tool has 2 specific prongs that hold it in place right here, so that way you can actually press it out and it's easier to do inside the vehicle. I'm sure there are other adapters that are out there that will do good enough, but we don't have those. So other technique, I mean, there's a bunch of techniques. The other technique, and the one that I found that works the best for me, is that I'm gonna cut off the ball joint above the eccentric bolt, and then I'm gonna work to cut and grind all the way without taking any material off of the control arm itself. I want to take all the ball joint material from the top and the bottom so I can see the dividing line and set it in the press and press out what's left of the ball joint. After trying a bunch of different methods, that's just the one that works best for me. That's what it looks like when you cut through right below the ball. You see the eccentric bolt on there. You can use a puller and a vise, pull that off, and you can reuse it. It doesn't take a whole lot of force to get it off, but since my sides are so rusty, I'm gonna get the replacement parts. From there, I'm gonna cut the rest of the ball and cup, and then the rest of this collar all the way to the control arm to see where the dividing line is. All right, you can see I'm getting really close to the actual control arm. I only have a little bit of material left on that collar. Sometimes get a drill or a hole saw and kind of get rid of that dust left of the ball, but I wasn't having a lot of success with it today. So I've switched now from the grinding wheel to a real worn flat disc. So that way, as I watch the metal turn color, I know how close I'm getting. And I can make sure that I line it up correctly and I don't dig into the control arm at all. There's other methods I've seen online where people use the hole saw after they get the ball out, and then they just drill until they cut all the way down to the control arm itself. All right, so if you can see, this outer ring, that circle, that's the actual control arm, and inside is the actual what's left of the ball joint. The top of it, you can kind of see the line. I'm gonna do the same thing with that worn flat disc. All right, I got it set in the press. These little ledges right here are being supported underneath. Soaking it with PB Blaster and letting it cool off, and we'll start pressing. And she's out. That's all that's left of the ball joint. Here is my control arm. Just got to clean out the inside now. All right, so ball joint still in the control arm. Ball joint out of control arm. There are a bunch of more efficient ways. I'm sure that people can get them out. That's the way that I figure that's worked for me. And maybe I'll put another video up of putting the ball joints back inside. Thanks for watching.